What is up, guys? Third Impact here, coming at you with the episode review for Kill La Kill, episode 14, Rush Like the Wind. Let's begin! Now, I'm sorry, I couldn't yell too loud. I do live with a bunch of roommates, but, I gotta give the shout out to Akiro Mikisugi, the nudist beach splendid naked officer, Akiro Mikisugi, who just hilariously revealed himself as being, a member of Nudist Beach and a fighter against life fibers. And that was just so hilarious. I feel like that's gonna get overshadowed by all the other crazy stuff that happened during this battle raid trip, but the episode begins with Ryoko waking up and discovering how Senketsu was destroyed. Well, she already knew that, but fills in Mikisugi on how that went down, and he explains to her how Senketsu has been chopped up and given amongst all the members of Satsuki's crew. So she has to go off on this trip. She reveals, or Mikisugi reveals that the one piece that she had grasped onto from before was Senketsu's eye, and she takes it with her. He can still talk and everything, which is really cool, and she wears it as a scarf. Now, when it was revealed, Ryoko's new sort of outfit with the outfit, the bike, Senketsu as a scarf and the glasses, that was just so badass. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this new Ryoko to go off, and hopefully in a couple episodes we can, see her start taking on maybe the Elite Four and start getting Senketsu back. That is not what happened. This just surprised the hell out of me. So the episode's called Rush Like the Wind. That is exactly what this episode did. This episode took what I thought would be episodes and just made it all happen in this one awesome episode that just had so much going on. So pretty much the battle raid trip has begun. I'm probably saying that wrong. I've seen it so many times on the screen now, but it's just such a ridiculous thing. So the different regions are being attacked by the different leaders of the 3 stars, but I'm starting to feel like all of this is just, none of this really matters. Like, these regions don't really matter. This whole episode was just introducing new character after new character after new character in all of these different places, and all of them were just immediately taken out, done with, not going to be seeing them anymore. The only one that they've built up to be a bit of a bigger fight, which the preview for the next episode looks like at least a portion of the episode is going to be dealing with this still, is Sanagiyama's fight against Kanio Takarada, who's this super rich guy, which was hilarious. His people shoot money out of their guns as a weapon. The guys, there's so much humor mixed with like this military action in this episode. Like, even the guys that are being attacked, he's using money as a weapon, literally. It's like, oh my god, yes, literally, he's shooting money out of a gun, but he's also using money as a weapon because he's bribing the townspeople while they're apparently already hired by him. But this guy's just completely consumed by money, and they're really pushing his story and his angle. But it makes sense that they're pushing his, because it's not only pushing and pumping up Sanagiyama's fight, because we never got a fight of him at the end of the tournament, but also because this crazy money dude, Kaneo Takarada, his views really match up with a lot of the stuff that's been pushed this whole show. Think episode 7 with the different class systems and how money works. So it makes sense that's the battle that they're choosing. But all of the other fights, Jakuzure and Gamaguri, like, all of their fights, they were happening and then they were done. Gamaguri's fight, it looked like for a minute there they were going to be running into some trouble, but then immediately after their like pamphlets of school rules, that was what they're using as a weapon. They don't work on their beef. Now, even the beef was like a cultural reference to like a certain kind of meat. The whole thing with Mako running around all the different districts, it was just for some really funny really Japanese centric humor with all the different kinds of food. I feel like it was very like a very cultural sort of episode at the same time. So I feel as though a lot of the little references and things might actually be lost on me. But I don't know, just so they're using their like, I don't know. That's just something I should note because even just watching the episode with all the emphasis on the different kinds of food and their weapons being like, well, the one group. See, like, I should have had all of their names written down, all of their how there was the four Devas with the tiger, the dragon, the phoenix, and the two-headed turtle. Like, all of these things are things that are specific to all of these regions. But the fact that they got it all done with in this one episode was the thing that just made it stand out as so like, oh, like this is so Japanese. But at the same time, they're going to be pulling back from all that pretty soon. So I don't know. It was interesting that they did that. And again, with Mako going on her rampage with all the money that she collected, eating all the different kinds of food. All those were like specific foods to the different regions and things. So it was just a kind of fun thing, like, you know, culturally in this episode, even though some of that was obviously lost on me not being from Japan and visiting those different regions. So that beef might be amazing, but I've never tasted it, so I don't know if it just melts like in your mouth like they described. But that was how their school pamphlets didn't work, was because the meat would just hit them and melt. But then the whole thing was that they just launched missiles, they blocked them with a shield, deflected them, blew it up, so that was ridiculous. So that was Gamaguri's weapon. Jakuzore's weapon was just more notes and attacks. And Sanagiyama was using his bamboo sword, obviously, got the most screen time. And people are gonna hate me for forgetting Infoman's name. Strategy and Tactics Officer. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm a terrible person. But his was the funniest when he came in through a hologram that was projected on a film reel to help Jakuzore. He used the Escher topology attack, which was just the most ridiculous, long-winded explanation of the area and the ground being affected in a way that put off a wave that had affected their brain, so that they interpreted what they were seeing as this, like, paradox painting, I think was what they referred to it as. So that was completely ridiculous. So each of the four leaders got their own, you know, special attacks, even though their ultimate uniforms haven't been perfected yet. That's going to come up and be a thing. So the main thing, I know, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, but Ryoko barges in on her motorcycle onto Gamaguri's group, steals all of the pieces of Senketsu just super fast, stuffs them in her suitcase, closes it, leaves, has done this for everybody. Well, we see her do it for Jakuzore, but then she meets up with Mako, and she has all the pieces except for one, which Lady Satsuki has, which sets up the next episode to be this final battle already between Satsuki and Ryoko, which is just ridiculous. I was expecting her to have to go through so many more people. I expected the four devas or four leaders to be having pieces of Senketsu on them, and that she would have to defeat them to get it all, and that's how they were going to prolong it. But apparently they don't have any of the pieces, and it was all done in a single episode, one fell swoop. So that was just so fantastic and surprising. Just the stuff that's happening now in these episodes is just so jam-packed. Like, there was a couple episodes when they were having that tournament where it was like pretty formulaic, but they have really gone beyond that now, and it's like anything can happen in any of these episodes. Harume knew he's still going to show up at some point. Just ridiculous. I know there's a couple of things here I must be missing, but man, that Akira Mikisugi's reveal of being that nudist-speech splendid naked officer, that was just hilarious. I just loved that. He's just posing, and it's like just like pulsing off of him in different places. But yeah, just amazing episode. Can't wait for this new opening to finally be here next week. I'm sure it's gonna be here next week. This will be the last week of Sirius's Kill La Kill opening 1, and I will see you guys rocking out to the new opening next week. Later, guys.